friend Justin with a Twitch channel as SosikNTwiztid. How you doing tonight, Justin?
Good, my buddy. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it greatly.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what I want to cover tonight is I want to split this into two segments. The first segment, I want to talk about your passion, which is gaming, and live streaming. I want to talk about your Twitch channel and those kind of fun activities. And then secondly, I want to dive into a more deeper conversation, which we cover on this podcast a lot, is anxiety and maybe some ways that you deal with your anxiety that can help other people that are looking to stream or just in daily life in general. We'll get to that after a while. But first, what I want to know, and what I ask everyone right away when they came in, what got you into gaming?
Well, this goes way, way back, dude. I'm old. So like my great grandfather bought me my very first gaming system, which was like a Nintendo, like the original, like Nintendo with a duck hunting gun and everything like that. And ever since then that I've been hooked. I've had pretty much every single console under the sun. As I grew older and I was able to start like buying things on my own, my brother-in-law actually got me into PC gaming.
Nice.
My first PC game was Warhammer Age of Reckoning. Played the heck out of that game. Loved every minute of it. I actually had 365 in-game days. That's like super no life. It literally consumed my soul. But ever since then, man, like, you know, MMOs in general have been one of the games that I go to, that I gravitate towards the most. But I have been playing a lot of console lately, Destiny 2 on console, on PS4. And that's pretty much it, man. That's my spiel, dude. Freaking
cool. Good deal. When you got that inkling in your head and you're like, listen, I'm going to start streaming these video games. Like, I'm going to go on Twitch and do this. What was your motivating factor to get in front of a live audience and play these video games?
Well, it started out as just like recording funny moments for me. Like, especially like it's, I recently, it's not that long ago. I mean, it's not even been a year, I don't think, since I started streaming. But like, we were just trying to capture some of like the, you know, debauchery, like the group of friends, like, you know, our back and forth conversation, because it is pretty funny.
Yeah.
A couple of us like joke about like, you know, getting famous from, I don't know if you remember back in the day, but like FaZe Jev. Mm-hmm. Like when he like freaked out and like raged in Modern Warfare. My buddy does that like every single game that we play. So we were like talking about like, you know, getting exposure for him and trying to get, you know, capture some of those moments because they're hilarious, and like being able to relive them time and time again from like recording games and stuff like that is it's an awesome, you know, it's awesome to be able to recall.
And be
able to like, you know, kind of like show that, you know, that funny moment, relive it over and over again. So I started doing it to capture those moments. And then as, you know, time progressed, I started getting a little bit of a following going. And, you know, in my own gameplay, people actually liked watching me play rather than my friends. And then the interactions just grew from there.
That's awesome. It's interesting how different people start. So that's why I always try to like dive into it right away, because some people specifically like want to do this for a living, so they're money driven, which is fine. I have nothing against that. But I shouldn't. But it's hard. It's hard to sit here and, you know, dedicate your time. You almost have to have a full-time job, a way to make full-time money, and then be dog-ass tired from working 8, 9, 10, 12 hours a day, and then come home and then stream for 4 to 6 hours, you know, to get that following build up and then transition into making this a full-time job. So I hear that a lot. I hear, you know, people wanting to showcase their abilities to get on a team. I know I have a close friend that does that. He likes to, you know, and then he does his special shots and then puts them on a YouTube and then has them showcased so he can make a team. So I like that you're different because you like to put out your shenanigans, and that's awesome. Like, you're literally creating content to make people laugh, and that's something that I love to hear. That's just something good. I like how you put a spin on it to bring humor into the world. That makes me real happy.
I mean, everybody has that dream. Like, I would love to play. Like, I mean, God, it would be every guy and little boy's dream to sit down and play video games for a living, dude. Like, I would love it, dude. If I got paid to do this, I would absolutely jump in a New York minute to do this full time. If it's actually paying my bills. But I got a mortgage and stuff, dude. So, and I got 2 kids. So, when I'm not spending time with my family, video games is kind of like a release, especially after like a really long, stressful day at the office. You come home, you just want to pick up and, go kill people in video games. As bad as that sounds, but I mean, you really kind of do. And, it's definitely a release, and a lot of people don't understand it. A lot of studies have come out lately saying that like there's an epidemic in our society right now, which is video game addiction. I don't really see it as problematic. It's a release for a lot of people to find something that they're really passionate about, like you were saying. People are passionate about this stuff. People want to take that next step. Some of the people are great at video games in general. They want to go pro. This is a great outlet for them, a great tool. Twitch has been a remarkable platform to provide this alternate reality space that people can be goofy or kind of step outside themselves and be someone different on camera in front of a large audience. I mean, even a small audience, dude, it doesn't really matter.
Exactly. And this is what I like to bring up. I was going to bring up later on, but since you brought it up, the best thing about this is people that do have social anxiety, that have a tough time being in a crowd to perform, can showcase their abilities. Twitch just isn't about video games. It's you can play your music on there. You can I know people are getting into that ASMR, like doing their sound and stuff. People, exactly, So exactly, things that people are talented at, they get on Twitch and they can make tips. That's what it's there for. It's there for make tips. You're putting on a performance for people, and some people's anxiety is so debilitating that they can't get out, but they have such amazing skills. They can, some people can play video games really well. Some people can play the guitar very well, but they don't want to show that, because then, the reality of the future what if people don't like it, or what if this, or what if that? Well, at this point, you can go record it, or stream it live, and then not worry about it because you're in the zone, you're doing your thing. And then, a couple weeks later, you're like, people can go back and watch your videos, because Twitch can keep them. So then people were like commenting, like, and following, and they're like, dude, you're good. And then that builds people up, because they're like, holy shit, somebody just listened to my stuff that I recorded, a month ago, and I thought no one would want it. And now they're like, oh man, like, I'm good. So then that builds up their self-confidence, and it makes them want to do this more. And I love that. Like, I love how this Twitch is literally breaking people out of their shell. And to me, that's phenomenal. Like, I get stoked about it.
It's huge. Like, when you think about it, I mean, there's a lot of people out there that have incredible talent. Like you were saying, like, they could play guitar well, or like, they're phenomenal at the piano, but they just have that bit of animosity towards actually performing in front of other people, public speaking. Like, you could be a phenomenal public speaker in your own right at home, in front of a mirror, and have just such resonance of your words. But then when you get in front of a crowd of people, it's a completely different, monster in itself. Twitch allows you to kind of have that without having that large scale, like, in your face crowd of people. And it's a great outlet, man. It really is. I got to give props to Twitch for the idea.
Absolutely.
It's huge, man. YouTube, second to none as well. You got all these different platforms you can stream on. it's actually taken off. I mean, everybody is really kind of pushing towards, you know, affiliate or partnership with Twitch or you know, YouTube or whatever the case may be. And I mean, it's actually changing people's lives, whether they realize it or not.
And I love it. I absolutely love it. I do have a question for you.
Sure.
So when you first started, okay, and there was a time that you were playing your game and there were 0 people in your chat room, okay? No, you know, nobody's watching you and you're just doing this and you're doing your thing. Was there ever a time that you 2 parts here, okay? First, was there ever a time that you were like, dude, why am I doing this? First of all, for 0 people. And second, did that ever lead to you thinking, I'm no good at this. Like, I want to quit. Like, this is not for me.
Yeah, dude. I mean, everybody starts out, you start out real small. You don't have any exposure, you know, and like I'm doing this for a completely different reason. So like, I really don't care if people, you know, want to come watch my stream. If they don't, I'm just trying to, you know, entertain as best I can. And most of the time, you know, if I don't have anybody in my chat, it's just entertain myself. It's just something fun and unique to be able to do. It does kind of give you a little bit of stress when you're pushing for things like affiliate or partnership.
Yes. Yes.
You know, you have these goals, and a lot of this is like self pressure. Like, I need to have viewers. I need to find something, you know, something unique to, you know, build myself up and get myself exposure. But then at the same time, you know, once you let some of that stuff go, you start to have more fun and be able to like actually build people up. People that come into your chat, even if it's just for a second, you introduce yourself, you say hi. You know, that's how you build those reciprocal relationships where people want to come in. They start telling their friends about it. But yeah, like, I mean, there's always going to be that time where, you know, you put that stress on yourself, but you don't have anybody in your chat. You don't have anybody that's watching your stream. Maybe it's just like 1 or 2 of your buddies, you know, trying to help you out.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, that's okay. You know, that's helping you grow as a person, to be able to put that new, you know, persona out there on the internet, dude, for everybody to see. A person that I actually like, I really admire and I love watching his stream is Jez. He's a Destiny 2 streamer.
Okay.
I know Destiny 2 is like super like kind of like played out there. Like, you know, a lot of people don't like really want to hear about it, but like, dude, he has some of the funniest content that I've ever seen. He makes some of the most amazing video clips on YouTube. I encourage everybody to check him out. He's hilarious. He has inspired me in so many ways to like.
That's awesome.
Put on like a different kind of show and like not, you know, and not be afraid to be silly, you know, and be funny and be, you know, my typical self, like that my, you know, my friends, you know, see on a day-to-day basis. I mean, like, look at me, dude. Like, I'm a funny looking, big nosed, balding, middle-aged man. You know, I got very little going for me. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta find something. You know, so being funny is kind of like an outlet, dude, you know?
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I love it. That's good. And I liked where you brought up back there too, which I lurk a lot. I work from home and I drive a lot, so I usually have Twitch on in the background, trying to find new people and trying to find different communities to go into. And one of my biggest things is going into a chat room and talking or, you know, doing a follow because I like the content, but like not seeing the person interact with the chat. And that's something that I don't know if it's I don't know if that's because, you know, they're so focused on the game that they don't, you know, talk to anybody. But I like how you specifically said that you enjoy that. You know, going in somewhere and talking to somebody and them, you know, building a relationship, and that's what I like to get out of this podcast. Like, I want a community built on people, you know, learning from each other and developing different things for life, you know. Like, yeah, we can sit here and talk about how to, you know, help each other with anxiety all the time, but I like watching people grow too. Like, that's sure. Huge. Like, I want everyone to succeed in every way possible because there's so many people out there that are stuck in what's the best word? You know, I want to say shitty jobs, but you know, a job's
True
a
story.
job. It puts food on the table. So no matter what, you're out there busting your ass. A job's a job. So I don't want to call them shitty jobs, but jobs you don't want to do. Like, so shitty in their own right. So you know, they go out and do these shitty jobs, and but they're not passionate about it. You find something somebody's passionate about, and they go out there, bust their ass even harder than they even thought possible because they love what they're doing, then you just make an awesome fucking person. You know what I mean? Like, then everything just it falls together for them. You know, they're like, you know, you get up and you do the grind and the Groundhog Day, you're 9 to 5, you know, and you might like that. So I'm not putting that down. I'm by no means I'm not putting that down, because I know there's probably people out there that are like, dude, I love going to the office and this is my life. I'm just saying, like, you know, a lot of people don't like that. So I'm using that as an example, and they go do their 9 to 5. They're driving home and they're like, dude, like I'm miserable. Well, I wish that there was a class, or there was like some place that these people could go that find their passion, so they could like get out of that mold and then do what they love, because life doesn't have to be about that. You know what I mean? Life doesn't have to be about this endless grind until we die. Life needs to be filled with your passions. Life needs to be filled with what you're gonna. And it sucks because I feel like the stigma on a lot of people nowadays is, I got to make a shit ton of money, because they're trying to keep up with the Joneses, you know? I want the biggest house. Right. I want the best car. I want to fill it with all this stuff. And I want to, you know, I want to do all this all the time. But, you know, if you can just make yourself happy by doing what you love and buying the necessities that you need, and let that passion dictate how much your life is spending, I feel like the human race would be better. Not better, but we would feel better. You know, our emotions would feel better, because let's say, like, you know, let's say, you know, passion's Twitch streaming. Okay, we're just using that because this is the format we're both on right now. Let's say that, you know, we have X followers, okay, or X subscribers, and those subscribers allow us to make X amount of money per month. It would be so nice if our minds allowed us to be like, well, I need to have a condo that costs this much. This is how much I can spend on food, and this is how much is, you know what I mean? And just to fit in that little realm. But I'm you know, I'm 100% against this as well. Like, or I do this too. You know, I like buying fun. Like, I buy, you know, things that make me happy. So, so I need to find a job that supports this lifestyle. But it would just be so nice if we found a lifestyle that fits our passion. You know what I mean? Like, that's dude. And if we could just, oh man, I would just love it if there was a way to you know, to reach out to people and get that kind of, you know, get that kind of motivation going for, you know, for us in, you know, in the world. Just, that's just something that I noodle over sometimes. It's just, I would just love it. I would just love everyone doing what they love, you know, because there's people out there that love being, you know, that love being gardeners. You know, what if, you know, that was something that paid more than it did, and they could survive off that, you know? Stuff like that. You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, for sure, dude. Yeah, if you want to be a bald-headed trash man, dude, be a bald-headed trash man.
Exactly.
If that's your passion about, dude. Like, I mean, do whatever's making you happy.
Exactly.
You know, like a lot of people take for granted. Like, a lot of people, there's this like huge stigma in society today about pursuing your dreams, and you have to do certain things in order to pursue those dreams. Like, go to college and get a degree and all these things. And like, believe me, dude, like, I've been through it all. Like, I mean, I went to college for like a good long portion of my life. And like, a lot of the stuff that they preach to you, I mean, it's great. Like, you learn a lot, and more of the things that you learn through college. I mean, at least what I felt is I learned a lot of life skills through college, you know, how to be independent, more so than I ever learned from a textbook. You know, I even went back. I did a master's degree. Yeah, I graduated, you know, not too long ago with my master's degree.
Yep.
Like, does it benefit my career? Absolutely not. Like, have I gotten any like accolades from it? No, my freaking degree is hanging above my freaking shitter, dude. Like, it doesn't matter to me. You know, I don't care. You know, it's all about like bettering yourself and doing something that you actually are passionate about. So if you're passionate about education, hell, go for your education, dude. Like, you know, go become a doctor and or teach at a college or something. If you're passionate about gaming, do pursue that shit, dude.
Yes.
Like don't let stuff like hold you back. Like there's a stigma in society that you have to be some person that you don't feel that you're comfortable being, like just be you, dude, and like do whatever is going to make you happy. Don't let anything stand in your way of your dreams. If it's being a super huge Twitch streamer, dude, freaking go for it, man.
Yeah.
Shit, dude. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
Exactly. 100%. I couldn't agree with you more, but I could not agree with you more. I want to talk about anxiety. Okay.
For sure.
That's something that I'm passionate about, helping people. Now, I'm not a doctor. I don't have a psychology degree. I took psychology in school, in college, and I do love it. I like helping people, one, and you know that 100%.
For sure.
And I deal with anxiety myself. Well, over the past couple of years, I come to the realization that, hey, I'm doing very well with my anxiety. Why? Why am I doing well? And why, when I go on social media, do I see a lot of people not dealing well with it? Is it, is there some, am I different than them? No, we're all fucking humans. You know what I mean? Like we all we all have the same capacity to help each other, to grow with each other, to level each other out. So that's why I want to help everyone with stuff that I've learned that maybe they can use in their life. I'm not a doctor, and I'm not gonna do any medical recommendations. That there's people out there to help you with that. Trust me. But for this particular portion of the podcast, I wanna learn from you. And I just want to know some things that maybe help you. Because we were talking about, streaming, we can use that, but also in your life, I want to know if you ever have any times where anxiety sometimes gets the best of you, and if you have any tips or tricks that you could share to help people with theirs, or if there's ever a time that you have, been overwhelmed by anxiety and what helped you through that. If you don't mind sharing that with me.
No, so it's totally cool, man. Like I'll tell you right now, like from a streaming platform perspective, for my initial streams, I actually like didn't want to put a face cam up because like I said, dude, I'm a goofy looking freaking dude. Like I got a big ass nose, I'm fucking going bald and shit. I'm old, I got a fucking weird ass beard growing in there right now. And I didn't want to throw that shit out to the world, dude. But it's actually funny, man. Like when I decided to make that changeover to throw a face cam on top of my stream, it actually helped like my followers interact with me, and they actually like enjoyed my facial expressions, my animations and stuff like that throughout the stream, and it made me feel like real to them. And they actually said like, hey, I really appreciate you being real. Keeping it real with me, and that actually helped me get over my fear of being like an actual like person on my stream, rather than like being able to just have my gameplay. And I felt like I was like super good at gaming, which I'm like absolutely not. I freaking die all the time, but it's all about having a good time.
Exactly, 100%.
But in like real life, dude, for me, like public speaking has been something that I actually like I kind of stress about it, dude. When I have to get up and at work and actually give a presentation to some really important people, it's really stressful. Like being able to put something together, feel like you've put your heart and soul into something, and you're getting ready to present it. You give it over to your boss for like a final review, and you're like, "This is a piece of shit. You need to redo it." Like that kind of stuff. Like that environment it holds people back. It's actually one of those things like, hey, look, if I can get up and I can speak in front of people, and I can present this and I can make you feel like this actually means something to you. Like, who are you to judge the quality of my work? You're judging me based on like your standards, not on what like, the actual work could be, given the fact of the medium that I'm presenting it in. So like I stress and in particular, like I get real big anxiety attacks when I have to do that kind of stuff, present in front of people, because I'm always, super critical of my own work.
Okay. Okay. Yep. Yep.
And I want it to be the best, and I want people to enjoy it, and I want people to, actually have something to take away every single time that I actually stream or in my job. Have something that actually resonates with them. My wife, she actually suffers from anxiety. She suffers from the fear of failure as a whole. Like, I mean, she's like super critical of herself when it comes to like parenting our kids.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Which, like, to me, it's a super eye-opening experience when you have somebody that no matter what you do or what you say, like, they're going to be like, hey man, like, I just feel like I'm being a poor parent, or, I just feel like I'm doing something wrong. And you can reassure, but it's never going to change their own perception of themselves. You have to make them realize the value of them as a person. That's why I think that, like, some of these, these platforms have been so well received. Like, people have that ability. Like, I wish, I really, really wish that more of our military folk would get on these social media platforms, these streaming platforms, and be able to communicate with one another.
Yes.
Because, I mean, it's opening up a whole new world. Like, not only can I, like, speak to you over the phone, but I can actually visually see you as a person and be able to kind of like give you that digital hug, dude, and be able to, comfort you and say, like, dude, it's going to be okay. Like, I know you've been through hell. Like, I know you've been through some of the worst shit on the face of the planet, but I'm here to help you and hear you and be that shoulder for you to lean on. Mm-hmm. If we would use these tools, I mean, like, technology has been a great giver, dude. We have so much at our disposal. We just don't want to use it. And, if we could use these things to better one another, instead of, constantly being like internet trolls and shit and going on people's videos and telling them how much of a freaking ugly fuck they are, then, it would be a whole different ball game, dude. It could be a platform to build people up.
I'm glad, actually, Justin, I'm super, super, super glad that you said that, because I almost want to say that that's some of the reason that anxiety is so prevalent today, is because of that troll mentality that I feel that, decades ago, I'm saying maybe like our parents' generation, so 30, 40 years ago, they didn't have that bullshit. They had the school bully. And guess what happened to the school bully? He kept being the school bully until school was done. Or he got his ass kicked, and then that kid, then he learned he cooled his tool, learned his role, everything, life went on, you know what I mean? So putting up the barriers where we can't, I'm not going to say it. Okay, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that we can't whoop each other's asses, but
But I mean, like, you're building onto something here, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you have these keyboard warriors, dude, that come on and they just talk a bunch of shit, dude. Mm-hmm. And you have two options. You can either deal with it, internalize that, and sometimes, I mean, that's like the catalyst for people doing like unspeakable things to themselves.
Yeah.
Because they internalize and internalize and internalize. Or, I mean, you could use this as an outlet to just like have fun, and push back on that person, because once again, dude, like, keyboard warriors, dude, are fucking keyboard warriors. Like, most of these people, like, when you push back on them a little bit, dude, they drop off, and they're either going to unfollow you, unsub you, or whatever the case may be. Yep. Or, they're going to like straighten their shit up and realize that they're being an asshole. And there are people across all realms of social media. It's not just like, streaming platforms that are like that. Facebook, Twitter, fucking Instagram, all that shit, dude. Like, you have these people that are out there that literally are completely different. Like, they'll go out there and just blast other people's stuff. Now that person may have put hours and hours and hours into that piece of content that they're trying to develop, and who are they to say that work is inferior or under their particular standard? Like, that person could have put their heart and soul in that shit, dude. Like, either give some constructive feedback where you're not being a dick about it, or just don't say anything at all, man.
Exactly. Exactly. And to caveat what you said, about putting their life and soul in it. We do have people like that. We do have people out there that are coming out of their comfort bubble to do artistic design or content, create things that they love. You don't have to sugarcoat it. You can do constructive criticism, like you just said. Hey, pal, this was awesome. What you did, I love it. It looks great. It's not my cup of tea, but dude, keep doing you. Because you know what? And everybody needs to fucking hear this. Out of 10 people, one person's gonna like it, and that's a game changer right there.
Yep.
Out of 10 people, out of 10 people, one person is going to like what you do. And I may not guarantee that. It may be out of 100 people, one person might like it. Out of 1,000 people, one person might like it. But I'm telling you right now, 100%, one person is going to like what you do, and that's all the reason for you to continue your passion or to continue what you're doing: singing, drawing, painting, content creating. So, and people need to hear that. Like, this needs to be blasted every day, because our minds are set up to take in habitual verbs or verbal cues, So
right.
You may be on a high for a while where you're like, okay, I'm having a great day. I just posted something on social media. I just did some cartoon drawings, posted them on Instagram, and, all these people liked them. 52 people liked it right off the gate. Life's good. Things are great. The next day, 30 some people liked it because somebody shared it. So you're on a high now. Everything's good. Everything's good. Well, that third day, a troll comes in, and they're like, "Dude, your shit is garbage. Like, you look like you drew this with your feet. What are you doing? Like, you shouldn't be doing this." And I've seen some nasty shit on Twitter where people would repost what people said, like everything under the, like, making fun of people's races, making fun of attacking the person on a personal level, not even talking about their content. They're talking about the person and getting into, like, the nitty gritty of it. And you know what? All that good that just happened for those last 2 days gets fucking canceled, because now one person had to go be a troll and destroy everything. So what? It's crazy. Like, what allowed this into our world? You know what I mean? Like, when did this become such the norm that we've given them a name? We've given them think about it. When we play D&D and stuff, and we talk about trolls, dirty ass, creatures. Like, why are we even giving this a symbol to stand beyond? Well,
it's sad, dude, because, like, at the same time where, like, these social media platforms and these streaming platforms have, like, been able to, like, build people up and, like, really give them a leg to stand on, it's also been, kind of like it's a crux, dude, because you have, like, those other people that are out there to, be that person that they may not be, like that asshole that just goes in there and, like, breaks everybody down. So, like, everybody has their ability to be a different person on the internet, dude. It's just the way the world works. Like, most people aren't going to go out there and, like, truly put their heart and soul and their emotions out into their social media platforms, other than, like, parents do. If you have kids, dude, like, everybody knows, you throw, like, fucking 5 million pictures of your kids out there, you don't give a shit what anybody says. Like, that's your kid, and, like, you say, ha ha, but, unless you're, like, in that same kind of mentality where you don't care, like, it's a huge thing when people come into your social media and they disrespect you, or they disrespect somebody that you love or care about, or a community that you care about, or a community that you're a part of, whether you're in the military or you're LGBTQ RS or whatever, all the other acronyms associated with it. These are platforms where people can feel that, like, this is a way for them to express themselves, and people need to start taking a step back and thinking about, like, who am I to judge somebody else? Like, what makes me so good that I can judge somebody and demean and demoralize somebody else because of what they're portraying on the internet. Like, I don't care what anybody puts on the internet. It's for each man to decide, each woman to decide, what they present themselves to the world as, and I'll respect it every single person. And sure, like, I mean, I have my tendencies. I can be an asshole too, just like everybody else. I have a bad day at work. I can talk a lot of shit. It is what it is.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, dude, like, I know that I'm a good person. And as much as if a person claps back at me and tells me that I'm out of the line, dude, I'm just like, I have to take a step back and really think and reflect on what I've done and see, like, hey, dude, like, maybe I need to change my behavior. Like, maybe this isn't the way for me to express myself. Like, maybe I need to actually get to know this person. That I was talking shit on. And sometimes it works out, and you can make friends, great friends out of that. But other times, I mean, you learn who true friends are as a result of it.
Yeah, so that's true too. You can make 100%. You can make great friends out of it. You can make long-lasting relationships, and at the same time, you can kind of see how your friends react. Social media it's kind of a fickle little bitch if you think about it, because
for sure, dude, for sure.
You're friends with somebody and you see them posting a bunch of stuff that you might not agree with on their social media, and getting in fights and all that kind of stuff, and you're like, whoa. We've been friends for a long time, dude. What the hell are you doing? Right. And I've seen that. Like, I mean, it's happened to me. Like, man, you need to calm down with that. But at the same time, everybody in their mind wants what they want out to come out.
Right.
If they don't feel comfortable with something that you posted, they want to throw hands with you about it. So I can't, like you said earlier, like, we can't, we're not, those people, we control us, and we just let everything continue the way it goes. And hopefully, hopefully we can, help people grow.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like, I mean, that's the thing. Like, if you can build somebody up, dude, like, build them up.
Exactly.
What harm is it for you to, like, build somebody up, dude? Like, I have friends that freaking stream or do YouTube and shit like that, and, like, you know what, like for a while, you get that kind of, like, sense of jealousy, like, you want what they have. Some people have, like, fucking huge followings, dude.
Yep.
Like, you're like, I want that shit. I want it. I want it. I want that loot, dude. I want that freaking freedom. But you know what? Like you trash talking them or, like, bringing them down, dude. Like, what good does that do? It doesn't do you shit good. You know what I mean? Yep. Like, you could. So, like, you got to make that choice. Like, you know what? Do something fucking positive with your life for once. And actually, like, spread some joy. Spread some cheer. Make somebody else's life a little bit better, and see how good you feel about yourself.
Oh my gosh, because it's so quick. It's so freaking quick. Okay, I go on, I see something I don't like, or something that I necessarily don't agree with. Okay, I can scroll past that. Oh my gosh, I forget about it in 3 seconds as I look at the next thing. Or I take the time to write something nasty about it. Takes me 3 seconds to do that as well, but then I negatively affect the community. Or I scroll until I see something that I can write positive about. Something, somebody did something great or got an award for something, and, cheer them on. And that 3 seconds positively affects the community. Like, it's just so crazy where people want to dedicate their time. Like, we're given a finite amount of time. Like, I'm not going to be on this world forever. Why would I sit here and go down social media to make other people's lives hell? Like, I can't personally comprehend it. It's something that I've talked to you about it. I've talked to others about it. I've talked to my wife about it. Like, I don't get where this troll mentality has come from, where people dedicate their time, which they will never get back, to fighting, to arguing, to putting people down, and ultimately, circling back around, making other people's anxiety worse because they are jackasses, basically. Story, you know what I mean? Like,
it's funny as hell, dude, that you brought that up, because, like, before I jumped on this podcast, I was actually playing a little bit of Destiny 2, and I got some fan mail, dude. I call it fan mail because, like, people like talk shit. They always like message it and stuff.
Yeah.
So I had a decent game. I was top of the leaderboard of my particular team. And this kid, starts talking shit. about like the weapons I'm using, or, like, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, he's like, you bought your weapons. Like, I couldn't earn them on my own and shit like that. I'm like, dude, like, number one, like, I grind my freaking ass off like every single day at this goddamn game. You know, like it took a long time for me to get to where I am. Like, a lot of fucking stress, dude. Like, I mean, there are days I would end streams, or I just get so frustrated because I wasn't performing to what I would consider my best of my abilities, and I just want to keep going, but I couldn't because I was on this like super huge loss streak, and like it actually like matters. I'm trying to be competitive, and trying to create content and shit, and you get these people that like talk all this shit, and you find after you look them up, you look at them as a person, or if you look at them like even like behind the scenes, what their stats say about them, and they're just mad at themselves for not playing well, or not being a better person, or being the person that they want to be. So like they may have had short-lived dreams, and that's the thing that you got to remember as a person that's going to be an internet personality, or be someone that's going to be recognized on the internet, whether it be a huge Twitch or YouTube platform, or just a small family Facebook page.
Yeah.
You got to remember, like, just remember who that person really is, and try to like, and this is something that helps me besides drinking, which I don't condone for anybody under the age of 21 or over the age of 21, unless it's in moderation. But you got to remember, man, like, the shit you do, it causes ripples, and like those ripples fucking go from end to end of the pond. Whether they're fucking a huge ripple or a real small one, it's still gonna freaking echo across the pond. So like, treat everybody like, just be a decent human being for once in your goddamn life, and treat everybody with respect, dude. And that's the whole thing. Like, whether you agree or disagree with them, it shouldn't make that person to you to be a freaking lesser person. You may have like politics is fucking huge, dude, and it makes people like really show their true colors as a person. Because like, if you can't have a common discourse with a person, or a disagreement with them over their political views, I mean, that's what makes our democracy so great. Like, we can actually express ourselves freely to one another. There are people that are, I consider myself to be politically ambiguous, dude. Like, I'm not like I'm a registered Republican, but like, it doesn't necessarily mean that I need to be Republican on all my shit, dude. Like, there are things that I agree with, like, on both sides of the fence, and there's things that I disagree with on both sides of the fence. Just because they have these platforms to present themselves in doesn't necessarily mean that view is right. And just because that view disagree, or doesn't align with your particular view, doesn't give you the right as a person to, verbally, or, keying, on the internet, eviscerate that person and bring them down. And so,
I agree with you on that. I personally do not see when it comes to politics. Now I'm going to say this just because we were talking about it. I don't like talking about politics in general, but with that kind of nature, you see such a divide in this country when it shouldn't be. It shouldn't technically. It shouldn't be that big of a divide. It should be the divide of what you believe in this or what you believe in that, either a yes or a no. Black or white. Not everything has a black and white. What I mean? Something.
There's a lot of gray, man.
Exactly.
There's a lot of gray.
And I feel like and this is I'll slide the politics discussion away and go back to what I was getting at. Is this people forget about the gray? You know what I mean? Like, things don't need to be black and white. You don't need to be against this particular thing or you don't need to be 100% against this or 100% for this. You can be gray. You can have those. You can have the, well, I understand this, but I understand that, and the pro and anti and this, that, and this, that. Like, for me personally, I think there's so many other layers to it that we forget about as humans, before we just jump in there full swing, wanting to battle everybody about it. I don't know. I just wish we could we could internalize it a little bit better as humans, and our our discussions could be a little more civilized than you see a lot of these social media discussions.
Dude, I mean, it's a true story, dude. Like, I mean, some of the craziest shit I've ever seen in my entire life has been portrayed on like Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. Yeah. Like, I mean, people's like, they're just throwing out like all this like this hatred. They're just spewing this hatred out there, and it's like, dude, like that this is gonna be around for longer than you are.
Oh my gosh!
Like, don't you throw some shit out there, dude? Like it's out there.
And my wife always says about it too. Like people when they post stuff, like, dude, your kids are gonna see this, your grandkids are gonna see this, or hear about this, or know like what you're saying. Like, I understand that as a person, you want to put this out there and you want it to be known. This is how you feel about it. At the same time, though, like when they're as strong as some of the things that people are putting out on social media now, like maybe you just need to calm it down. Talk it out with your friends. Like, do have a jam session with your buds and talk about it then. Like, have family game night where right. you're around a bunch of people that you can talk this out and vent your frustrations and stuff. I just don't think that social media needs to be that kind of platform. I think I personally would love if social media was just that, social media. Talk to, people that you don't have the opportunity to reach out to all the time and share your fun moments and your pictures of the food you ate and your dogs and stuff like that. Like, your
kids, your dogs, whatever the hell it is, man. Like, be able to like share it out there without the fear of someone else being like, they'd like, talking shit on you or your kids or whatever the case may be. I feel you, dude. Yeah, this is real. That's real.
Exactly. You know what I do want to talk about? I want to talk about your. I feel like the camera got all cattywampus, or I feel like the mic got all weird on me there for a second. I want to talk about your fundraiser, your charity work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
sure, man. Sure.
Let me I want if you can just tell everybody what it is and what you guys do. I think this is phenomenal. I love this. I love hearing about it.
Yeah. So a lot of people don't. I mean, it's totally like nerdgasm for like most of the people out there. But I'm a part of the 501st Legion, which is the official like Disney now charity organization associated with Star Wars. So we do is we go to like children's hospitals. We do various events, Make-A-Wish Foundation, for instance, Thon at Penn State. We go to these events dressed up as Star Wars characters. Super fucking nerdy, I know, but hey, dude, to each their own. What got me into this is I've been a big Star Wars fan my entire life. I've loved those movies ever since they came out. Not really in like real time because I wasn't alive back then, but like when they came out in like VHS, like I remember like I actually had like the re-releases on VHS and I watched the hell out of them. And ever since then, it's like something that people can resonate with, man. It's a story about good and evil, and I think that kind of duality is very synonymous with our lives. Here in America, around the world, dude, it resonates across the world with people. So what the organization does is, we go completely free of charge to a lot of big events in costume. Some of the things that like resonate with me the most would be like going to like the children's hospitals in the terminal wings and being able to like see a child that's terminally ill. Be able to have like just a moment of release, dude. It's heartbreaking, but at the same time, it's super rewarding. Like it actually fills your soul up with good, because you're able to make take pain away out of that child's life or out of that person's life for just a brief second, a brief moment in time, and allow them to just be able to be a kid again, or to be able to interact with one of their favorite stormtroopers or Darth Vader, or whoever actually like resonates with them the most. It's super rewarding, man. I've had the privilege of being able to do a lot of events and give back to the community in so many different ways. My son, really kind of like resonates with me the most, because like my son, like after being born, like he actually, his very first movie that he ever watched was a Star Wars movie, and ever since then, dude, he's been like addicted to it. He likes the Clone Wars and all kinds of shit.
That's awesome.
But it's because of his ability to, you know, see me in character, dude, and like he just like looks at me with just awe, and he loves it. And a lot of kids are like that. Now, there's certain kids that are going to be afraid of it, of course. I mean, it is what it is, man. They're kind of fucking scary. It's the whole MO is bad guys doing good. But you know, we do a lot of stuff out in the community, and I encourage everybody at least go out and see. It's not like some ragtag, you know, half-ass put together, you know, armor or costumes that you see. I mean, this is like movie quality armor. It goes through like super scrutiny. There's actually like a huge process to get approved by the Legion in order to actually do events. And it takes a lot of time and a lot of hard ass work, man. So I appreciate you, like, you know, you're throwing that plug out there. A lot of people don't realize I do this
absolutely.
stuff. You know, it has been a great joy and passion of my life to be able to like go to these things and do something and give back to a community that, you know, has given me so much, dude, like so many opportunities.
Appreciate you doing that and all the hard work that you put into that. It's awesome. It's such a good event. I'm glad that share that.
And if anybody wants to, like, you know, if anybody feels generous and they actually want to donate, the 501st Legion does have a Make-A-Wish charity page. You can go to it, 501st, you know, or VadersFirst.com. You can go onto the Legion website, you know, take a look at some of the charity work, donate if you feel, you know, so compelled to donate to it. It really makes a difference. You'd be surprised. You know, these kids that we give back to and we're able to kind of help, it's something that people take for granted. They a lot of people preach on these platforms about, you know, having the ability to do something and not doing it. Well, this is, you know, everybody's opportunity to do something positive for a change. Give to a kid, do something for a kid. If you're passionate about Star Wars, hell, join the Legion, dude. Like I encourage everybody to do it. It's a wonderful experience. But if you're not, dude, like, I mean, just come out and support us. You know, like if you see, you know, at an event or you hear that there's going to be stormtroopers or something coming to your local library, or, you know, book fair or whatever the case may be, or Children's Miracle Network event or Thon or whatever the case may be, you know, come out and support us, dude. You know, we actually love getting together and taking pictures and seeing people's reactions to the actual characters, because it is super movie quality. And so, you know, come out and take a look, you know, take a peek and see what you think.
There's one question that I want to, you know, finish up with tonight. If you don't mind answering for me, if you know, if this is something that you don't have any idea about, or don't, you know, it's never crossed your mind or anything. I definitely don't want to put you on the spot, but if there was one tip or trick that you could let all of our listeners in on, that you find helps you the most with anxiety, any kind, you know, social anxiety, internal anxiety, futuristic anxiety, anything that you have, if there is one trick or tip that you could give, you know, our listeners, go ahead and share that with us if you don't mind.
Everybody needs to remember that, like, regardless of all the bullshit that's going on in your life and all the trolls or all the people that are going to, you know, all the naysayers, you have to have a strong support network. So you got to build up your support network, whether it be, like, you know, one person at a time, your loved one, your spouse, your mom, your dad, whoever it may be. Just know that you always have an outlet of someone that you can go and express yourself to without, you know, fear of judgment. That's been the biggest help for me as a person. You know, when I have, it wasn't until I got married. I got to be honest with everybody here. I mean, like, there's some things that you can go tell your parents, you know, and there's some things that you definitely don't want to tell your parents, you know, for the fear of judgment. But, like, you know, when you get a person, whether it be a best friend, a significant other, a spouse, you know, that person is going to be your best sounding board, and don't be afraid to, you know, express your feelings and your emotions to, you know, your friends and family and loved ones. Tell them how you're feeling. But you have to remember that when you tell somebody how you're feeling, they're not going to be able to necessarily understand all of your internal emotions or your anxiety or your fears. You have to like take a step back and be willing to step outside yourself and step outside your fears and your comfort zone and take that constructive criticism and then actually learn to do something positive. So like, if a person tells you that you're being a complete asshole, it may actually hit you really, really close to home, because that never was your intent. It's being a bigger person, of being able to take a step back and understand where that person was coming from, but then actually being able to change your behavior and your demeanor in order to be understanding of what their actual view was. That is what makes a fucking world of difference, man. So
awesome.
Like there's a lot of people out there like that we could never ever understand. Like, I mean, like, I got a soft spot in my heart for all the military folk out there. I mean, you guys do so much for the community and for our country as a whole. I could never understand like some of the shit you guys have been through or seen or done or be forced to do, but you know what? At the end of the day, do I respect you and do I appreciate you and all of your sacrifices and your service to our country? Absolutely, dude. And am I here for each and every one of them? Absolutely. You guys ever need a place to go or a place to stay, a place to talk or just be yourself around, or just be have a person be a sounding board for you, dude? Man, come fucking hit me up. I don't give a shit. It doesn't matter. Like you guys need a platform. And whether it be Twitch or YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or whatever the fuck else is out there, go ahead, throw your shit out there. There's going to be someone that hits home to that will respect you and your opinions and be able to provide you with the comfort and support you need.
Thank you for that support. Honestly, that's, that I speak from a lot of people that means a lot. And, also, thanks for doing this with me. Thanks for coming out
dude, no problem. It's been fucking great. Dude.
Awesome,
I love
good.
I love you. I love your beard. You're a fucking sick.
Thank you. I'm going to down below. I'm going to link to the 501st. Put your donation link on the bottom so people can check that out if they want to. And I'm going to link your Twitch account as well. It would be you're probably gonna have to tell me how to spell it. I know it's SosikNTwiztid, but
for sure
I can I'm pretty sure I can copy and paste it here on my friends list. But so I will link that stuff down below. Please come check them out. Do you have a schedule that you follow by any means?
I try. It's not public, but I typically stream like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. Those are my big days. Sundays, if I have time, I mean, it's kind of up in the air, but Monday, Wednesday, Friday is typically from 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time to roughly around 11 o'clock p.m. Give or take a little bit. So, I mean, come check me out. I appreciate all y'all's support. Your likes, views, whatever, comments, doesn't matter. Everything I take in stride. So if you want to be a dick to me. I don't care.
Awesome. And again, Justin, thank you so much.
No problem.
I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely.